The game has taken the world by storm, with Gibraltar not immune to this gaming phenomenon. Its appeal is varied, with the transformation of familiar surroundings into a playground and the accessibility for all the family just some of the positives. But with reports of accidents, muggings and luring by online criminals, although not in Gibraltar, the police is keen to issue advice.
Games of this nature and applications you can download for your phones, smartphones nowadays, have access to certain data and certain security features. Our understanding is that this new game will allow access to pretty much your Gmail accounts, if it's been set up like that, Google accounts, and unfortunately it leaves you open to hackers getting into your phone and maybe stealing personal data, which could include bank account details if you've ever emailed your bank and things like that, and leaves yourself open to fraud later on. When downloading apps, I know that not many people will read the small print. They are long and sometimes excessive, but if you want to stay safe, you do really need to read that small print and see what you're getting yourself into and decide whether that's what you actually want to allow companies to have access onto your phone.
News headlines over the last few weeks focusing on accidents and incidents reported with people not being aware of their surroundings whilst playing the game. Might seem like an obvious one, but what's the advice here?
You'd hope it would be obvious. We live in a society where we need people to use some common sense. And if you're going to cross the road, look where you're going. The car doesn't know you're crossing the road and playing the game. Look both ways. If young children are playing these games, don't expect them to be as focused as you would as an adult to their surroundings. They're not going to stop the same way as a young child may kick a football across the road and run after it. They may run after a Pokemon on their screen. So it's a common sense approach to common sense, everyday things that are around them, and people do need to take responsibility for their own actions and not expect the world to stop just because they're looking down at their telephone screen.
The immersive nature of the game makes players more trusting of strangers that are fellow gamers. In this way, the RGP is urging parents to ensure that children are informed of the possible dangers.
There's no need to panic as such at this point. However, once again, it comes down to common sense. If a game allows, or this game or any other application, allows you to send out a message to bring other people to a certain location, that can always be abused by criminals. Criminals will always be on the lookout for a new way to grab hold of a victim. Gibraltar is not immune to the situations that happen in the rest of the world. We are still a very safe place to live and we still have a very safe community. However, that can only continue if people are sensible and are on the lookout for each other and have the community spirit that Gibraltar's always had. Therefore, if you're doing this and you have young children and they're playing this kind of game, children should be supervised. If they're off to chase a lure somewhere in this particular game, you just do not know who set that lure, you do not know who's going to be there, and you should always have these thoughts in the back of your mind.
But it's not all doom and gloom. The app gets people to exercise and talk to each other, also providing a fresh perspective on familiar surroundings. Nevertheless, the police encourages those playing to stay safe, referring parents to the online site parentzone.org.